First Impressions in the Odyssey. Robert Fitzgerald, translator. My name is Miss Wright. First Impressions of Homer. The first thing that we hear Homer say is, "Sing in me muse, and through me tell the story of that man skilled in all ways of contending, the wanderer harried for years on end after he plundered the stronghold on the proud height of Troy." So what we should notice is that Homer is someone who has tremendous respect for the gods. He knows that he's about to try to tell a story that is hundreds or thousands of lines long and hundreds of pages in our text, over 500 pages. And he is calling on the muse, Calliope, muse of epic poetry, to sing through him and help him to tell this great tale. So as an ancient Greek, he has tremendous respect for the gods. He would never think of using his own strength. That would be hubris, to think that he is as mighty as a god, and it would take a god to tell this story. First conflict that we should notice is between Odysseus and Poseidon. It's described on page 2 of the text. "Yet all the gods had pitied Lord Odysseus, all but Poseidon, raging cold and rough against the brave king, till he came ashore at last on his own land." So we notice that there is some kind of a grudge, some kind of a conflict between Odysseus and Poseidon. And Poseidon, being a god, is going to make life very, very difficult for Odysseus. At this point, we don't know all the ramifications, but we soon find out that he has run afoul of Poseidon because he has blinded one of Poseidon's sons. First impression of Zeus. In the bright hall of Zeus upon Olympus, the other gods were all at home, and Zeus, the father of the gods and men, made conversation, for he had meditated on Odysseus, dead by the hand of Agamemnon's son Orestes, and spoke this thought aloud before them all. So our first impression of Zeus is to notice that even though he's the king of the gods and he could be doing anything that you can imagine, what he is actually doing is sitting and thinking about mankind, particularly one man who is a murderer, who is a betrayer, who has definitely not lived up to the Greek ideal. And he's meditating on this man and wondering why this man, even though he was warned, sets about to kill Agamemnon and then reap the vengeance of his son Orestes. This is a picture of the gods in council. First impressions of Athena. "O Majesty, O Father of us all, that man is in the dust indeed, and justly. So perish all who do what he had done. But my own heart is broken for Odysseus, the mastermind of war, so long a castaway upon an island in the running sea." So my first impression of Athena here is that she's almost maternal towards Odysseus. She's worried about Odysseus. And she goes to her own father to see if her father will do something to make Odysseus be able to return to his home. She's a goddess. Couldn't she do it on her own? But she has some sort of respect for her father. But she goes to her father to ask permission before she begins to intervene in Odysseus's life and make it possible for him to return home. So my first impression of her is that she's a daddy's girl. She's very respectful of her father. And she's, in a sense, very much a maternal character because she cares about Odysseus. She says, "My heart is broken for Odysseus." She's a goddess. Why does she care so much about this mortal man? Is she in love with him? Throughout the story, we don't really see that, but they do have a really close bond, and it's probably because Odysseus is the thinker. Odysseus is the intelligent hero. Odysseus is the man who uses his mind. And she even refers to him as the mastermind of war, who has been cast away, meaning stranded upon an island in the running sea. So that's my first impression of Athena. This is a picture of Athena and Hermes, because Zeus is going to call Hermes and send him on an errand to tell Calypso it's time to let that man go. Beautiful picture of the island of Ithaca, home to Odysseus. First impression of the suitors. Now, we could be introduced to the suitors in a variety of ways, but Homer introduces them in this very specific manner. Before her eyes she found the lusty suitors casting dice inside the gate, at ease on hides of oxen they had killed. Their own retainers made a busy sight, with houseboys mixing bowls of water and wine, or sopping water up in sponges, wiping tables to be placed about the hall, or butchering whole carcasses for roasting. So the first thing that we see of the suitors, we see them through Athena's eyes. And what she sees is a bunch of gentlemen, or not so gentlemanly young men, who are kind of taking over this palace. And they're casting dice. Now imagine if you had a home, a really, really nice home, and some people came to your house and they were using your house like a pool hall, like a gambling place. You would be like, get out of my house. You know, you want people to respect your home. And the fact that the first thing we see is that they're casting dice inside the gate of a palace is to show that they have no respect, no dignity, no proper upbringing in terms of how to behave. They are a disgrace. And they're lounging about on animal skins. It says hides of oxen that they've killed, probably Odysseus's oxen that they've killed. When it talks about their own retainers are servants. So these are noblemen. These are the sons of probably some of the kings who went away to fight the Trojan War and maybe never returned. And so they're wealthy enough to have servants. And their servants are busying making wine for them, cleaning up after them, setting up tables for them to eat their next meal. And you get the sense that there's perpetually animals being roasted, because there are 108 of these men who have gathered at the palace to court Penelope. And not only are they there, but their servants are there. So this place is overrun with testosterone at this point, and they are behaving badly. It's like a fraternity gone mad. First impression of Telemachus. This says, long before anyone else, the Prince Telemachus now caught sight of Athena, for he too was sitting there unhappy among the suitors, a boy, daydreaming. And what if his great father came from the unknown world and drove these men like dead leaves through the place, recovering honor and lordship in his own domain? Then who dreams in that crowd gazed out at Athena. So you have Telemachus. What's the first thing we see him doing? Well, very much like a young man, he's daydreaming. And what is he daydreaming about? The thing that he's longing for most, his father's return. So immediately we know that he's still loyal to his father, and that his reality must be very unsatisfactory, because he's living in a world of the dream when his father will come and rid his palace of these horrible men and take back his domain. This is Athena when she later leaves Telemachus and flies away like a bird. First impression of Penelope. And in her room, careful Penelope, Icarius' daughter, heeded the holy song. She came then down the long stairs of her house, this beautiful lady with 2 maids in train, attending her as she approached the suitors, and near a pillar of the roof she paused, her shining veil drawn over across her cheeks. The 2 girls close to her and still, and through her tears spoke to the noble minstrel. The first time we see Penelope, she's very regal. She is the queen of Ithaca, and she descends from her bedroom down to the midst of the suitors. But you get the sense of a long, slow, graceful walk. She's in attendance with her maid. She doesn't go about by herself. She's always attended to by her maids. But the last thing that is said is through her tears spoke to the noble. So this is a woman who's been in a type of mourning for years and years and years. It's been 20 years since she's seen her husband, and there's this perpetual sense of sorrow that hangs about this woman. She doesn't want to give up hope that her husband will return. She probably knows about the prophecy, but who knows what could have happened? Will she truly ever see him again? So this sense that she's a woman of tears, a woman of sorrow, is the first impression that we have of her. And this is a picture of Penelope when she was doing the trick with the loom. Here's a loom, there's a weaving, but what are they doing? They're taking that out, and they've just been caught. Alright, thanks for watching. Please remember to leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate my students. Thank you for watching these videos. I hope they help as you read the Odyssey and prepare to do your own presentations back in class. Okay, have a great day. I will see you soon.